The show's called Heavy or Not, and I'm Mark Rodriguez, the producer. I'm also a candidate for public office. Here we are in 2007 on April 14th. We're going to hear from City Council candidate Patrick Dowd. Patrick had been on the school board, and he's running in a race for City Council against Len Bodak Jr. Len Bodak didn't show up. The event is hosted by B-PEP and other organizations. Patrick Dowd is one of two candidates for the May 15, 2007 primary. There will be a general election in November, and with any luck and hope, we'll have a Libertarian candidate in the race too. It's for City Council, District 7.
My name is Patrick Dowd. I'm a candidate for City Council in District 7, and I want to thank the League of Women Voters, the League of Young Voters, and B-PEP for sponsoring this event and for everyone coming out this evening, and especially the students. I think that's incredibly encouraging and exciting to see new people engaged in the political process. As I said, I'm a candidate for City Council. I'm running for the seat currently occupied by Councilman Lenny Bodak Jr. And I think about the city of Pittsburgh, and I think that this is a tremendous opportunity for us. We are, as we often think at election time, we're at an important crossroads. We need to think about where we want this city to be going, what sort of direction we think the city ought to be taking. I've been out knocking on doors since January 2nd. I've knocked on almost 3,000 doors. I've talked to thousands of people. And when I hear what people have to say, they're saying that we need to start thinking about the housing in the city of Pittsburgh. 15,000 approximately vacant and abandoned properties in this city. It's a sign of blight, they're sources of crime, and they're deep concern for the community. And it's time that we start thinking about how we can rebuild this city. My opponent, Councilman Bodak's strategy is to board up and tear down those properties. This is not a strategy. This is not a strategy. Those are our assets. Those are our resources. What we ought to be doing, and I've put out a platform piece, and I'll be happy to talk about it with anybody who will listen. I'll be happy to hear from you what your thoughts on this. But I think it's time we find ways to reinvest in those houses. We've got to find ways to encourage people to pick up those vacant and abandoned properties. My wife and I have been working on a house for 9 years. When we bought it, it was rat infested. It was boarded up. It was a mess. It's a house now where we're raising a family, and we're proud of that. But it's incredibly difficult. We've got to break down those barriers that make it difficult for people to reinvest. We've got to give them opportunities. We've got to find ways to turn around the disparity in home ownership and property control in this city and make sure that we find ways to balance that out. We hear that people are deeply concerned about crime, and those properties are symbols to people of the potential crime or the actual crime in their communities. And so we've got to start thinking about the police force that we use, not just reinvesting in the house, but let's start thinking about how we're utilizing the police force. Let's ask questions. What are the response times? Where are the crimes? How are we distributing the police resources themselves? Let's get focused on making sure that our police force is in fact serving us in the most effective and efficient ways. So people are talking about housing, they're talking about crime, and I have not, it's unbelievable, I have had a hard time going out knocking on doors, not hearing about public transportation. People say to me all the time, we need a city council that's going to start saying, it's our business to get involved in public transportation. We've got to take some responsibility here to start using our legislative powers to advocate for public transportation here in the city of Pittsburgh. And those are the issues, and others as well. Government reform is a platform piece we just put out today. I believe it's time we start thinking about how to reform the culture of government here in the city of Pittsburgh, and I propose that we have a referendum for the citizens of Pittsburgh to determine whether or not we should have term limits on elected officials here in the city of Pittsburgh. Thank you.